Welcome to the Tomb of Illumination. This video is going to be about NDEs. I've just recently discovered this channel where he interviews people that have had their near-death experiences, and I can relate to all of them. I know what they're on about, and they're all factual. They all come down to the same feelings. They all have the same feelings or experiences. And one lady just recently talked about a glitch. There's some sort of glitch. It didn't quite line up. This, like an overlay, it didn't line up. And I'm pretty sure she's referring to the God zone, where the two hemispheres overlay. Like in the winter season, the southern hemisphere winter season, the southern hemisphere goes up and slips under the northern hemisphere. The magnetic field. I don't know how, I haven't got my head around it fully, but that does happen. I've got all the information that's showing me that that happens. Now, I haven't been out with a camera to video the star rotation. You've got the two separate star rotations of each hemisphere, right? And after September there is this gap, because that when it parts, this is the parting in religion, the parting of the Red Sea in the religious story, because you've got to understand the Red Sea represents the blood, because the physics of earth, the Bible's about the physics of earth and man's spiritual awakening, which is taking place inside his brain. So this parting is the tearing or opening of the claustrum, the two passageways in the human brain called the gates. Once the gates are open, they will not be shut. Open the gates, the flood comes through, the floodgates, where all these terms come from. All resort back to creation. And anyway, this parts. So whether the two rotations are actually overlaying, a bit like this, an overlay, or it's just the magnetic field, because these rotations are stars, right? They're the reflections, projections from the centre of creation into our night sky backdrop. But there is this parting, so I'm pretty sure she's referring to this glitch, because this overlay is the God zone. It's the most sacred spot. And it opens up as the southern hemisphere comes into their summer. You see it in the night sky. The stars start going back down. The crux starts going back down. Okay, so that's one aspect of their stories. And another woman, they all talk about going through this tunnel or black void. And it's written that we go through fire. We pass through fire to get to God or whatever. But the religious saying is, you have to go through me to get to the Father. And that's related to this. So they're actually going through the Milky Way. They don't know this, but we all pass through the Milky Way, which is the fire, to get to the light, because the sun is in the centre of the Milky Way. You pass through the Milky Way to find the light. This is what they're doing spiritually. We're all going through the Milky Way. And this is how we all get recycled. But they're obviously going so far, and they're not going beyond it, because you die. If you go beyond it, that's death. So you're going so far, and then you're being sent back in all these stories. Okay? And then they all talk about pure love, because it is. This is what God is. Goodness, pure love. And that's the ultimate. Because and they speak of coming home. They've arrived home because they've reached singularity, this perfection. This is why it's just so, this pure love. It's basically perfection, where the male and the female entity reunite. This is back at creation. You are one. The physical world, you're pulled apart and separated. you see. And somehow they've had their experience, had an accident or whatever, and they've been lucky enough to be brought together, brought back to one. But they're basically the chosen ones to come back and preach to the world, explain it to the world about God, because this is the whole realm we're in. We need to understand God and His pure love to save the world, as the Bible says. It gave His only begotten Son to save the world, because it's a conscious state. The whole earth is a conscious state. The more evil there is, the more it destroys the earth. And God, the supreme power, energy, wants it renewed, wants to save it. So this is why so many people are having these experiences now, because we're going into this new age of Aquarius, the golden age, which is what you should be calling the pyramid era. Remember there's this pyramid era when they built Khufu and all that? Well, we've come right round in a cycle, into that period now, where we're going to understand everything. So we just need to wake up. There's an evil entity. Some people have been talking about this evil entity. I know that's on that guy on Archaic. He describes this evil entity, and which is the earthly entity, because that is, we've been brought down here. You know, I keep referring to it to hell, but it's, you know, it can be a beautiful world, but I don't know why it's run by such evil people. They've taken control of it, and all this propaganda on your TV boxes and all that is to keep you down and out. They must thrive on that. They live on that evil. We've got to wake up and not listen and watch that stuff. Okay? So if you wake up and this, while you're down in the physical form, then you miss this reincarnation system and get the free pass going, go to the right hand side of God, as it all described in the Bible. So you have to wake up. Don't be the average dummy who just loves to watch the TV and the news and believe all that crap, because it is all lies. And when you wake up, not everybody will get to know this, but most of your history is all lies. It's all lies, fabricated due to man's simple mind prior to waking up, how he's perceived history, and otherwise it's just pure lies, written deliberately, lied to deliberately by the victors of war. So yeah, so check out this, I don't know what the channel's called, it's some guy's name, but very interesting. And there's plenty of other spiritual guys that have got their channels, and from a young age they've been interested in this supernatural stuff, and they've come to be aware of what's going on too. But I'm just here to vouch for it all, because my experience is the same, and I understand it all. I understand the whole flat earth system. One lady, the first one I saw, she told her story, and I'm just blown away, because it's the first time I've seen this sort of thing, and she's just saying everything I know. And she said, when he questioned her about the earth, she says, well, the earth's flat. I know the earth's flat. That's what she said. Because she knows. Once you're woken up, you know the whole system. You know they talk about all the lies. They know. They know everything's a lie, and they never knew before. It's only after the accident they wake up, they start to find all the truth. Because, I mean, the Bible, that's what the Bible says. The truth and the way. You'll find the truth will set you free. If you have to seek it. Otherwise, you're just going to stay a dummy. Okay? So we know the earth's flat now. We've just got to make fools of those who just want to hold on to it. Just love it so much that they'll get violent if you try to debate it with them. He's got to make fools out of those people. We've heard enough stories of them trying to make you looks like a fool by understanding the flat earth or thinking it's flat. They could just go check out that flat earth, debunking flat earth on Quora. Listen to those idiots and what they say. They get real rude and foul words, but if you're someone else outside of that little group there and you start using the words they use, you'd be written off. They'd write you off. But no, it's because they're trying to debunk flat earth and they're globe lovers. They're allowed to do whatever they want. So go check that site out. There's some stupid shit on there, I tell you. It just shows you how thick people are. Just when you wake up and realise, how could you have thought you lived on the bottom of a spinning ball or even on the side? All because of this magic word, gravity. Because there's some magical thing in the middle, some iron core. It's all holding it. It's the dumbest thing ever. So once you start understanding all this and understanding the Milky Way, how the Milky Way is like an umbilical cord that floats around the earth over 24 hours, and how it's the male and female end that come together to create the sun, which is the hermaphrodite. How you've got Venus on one side, Mercury on the other. Mercury the messenger, so it's the male. He's the prophet. He's the male. And it's Mercury always in line with the black hole. Mercury and the sun creates the solar eclipses. And no doubt Venus on the female side creates the lunar eclipses. Haven't looked into that too much actually, but it's probably, are they like half a cycle, 14 days apart? Yeah. So you need to understand that. The light is in the middle, that's the middle, the sun is in the middle there. This is the real light and sun, not the sun we see at the end of the Milky Way into our realm, the physical realm. I'm talking about way back in creation here. There's the real sun. And that's connected to the Milky Way goes like this. The female comes up through here, the male comes over into it. And bang, there's the sun. Right there at the explosion, bang, to ignite the plasma, creates the black hole. And if you go on YouTube and check out the latest videos on plasma fusion, all that sort of thing, I think there's an English, all these young guys, and they're describing the whole earthly system, talking about this black hole thing, and then they're talking about if they do this and do that, they're going to end up with all these things that look like stars. They're describing the whole event. Stars in our night sky are shrapnel or collateral damage from the plasma explosion, creating the plasma in the first place. Like I said before, we live in the instant of creation. It seems to be reoccurring. It's like a simulation on replay. Every new day starts again. But consciously we're continuing the story. But bang, it's all about this bang at creation at the beginning. So they're all talking about this simulation. That's what it is. It's a reoccurring simulation